Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Northumberland Zoo on YouTube. My name is Maxine, and I work here. Today's a little bit of an exciting and stressful day. It is the day that we do our annual kind of checkup, health check on our super rare Livingstone fruit bats. Because the captive population of these bats is so small, I mean there's around 100 in captivity and we have 13 here at the zoo. Every year the stud book recommends that you do like a bit of a blanket random health check on a few different individuals. So we have randomly selected 4 individuals that are going to be going to the vets today. They're getting a cardiogram done, they're getting x-rays, and they're getting bloods. And anesthetizing a bat is not as easy as you think. Bats spend their entire life upside down. From sleeping to mating and eating, they've evolved to hang. And the only thing that they do the right way up is actually go to the bathroom, for obvious reasons. This means that their physiology is very different to our own. If we hang upside down, blood will rush to our heads and it pools. And we have special valves in our veins in order to stop blood from pooling in our ankles and in our feet. The valves in the bats are just the same, but they're pointed in the opposite direction in order to prevent the blood rushing to their head. And this allows the bats to roost up high away from potential predators and threats.
Just got out with the plan, so we're going to try get some of them in.
Yeah.
But if we are going to grab Freya, we only get one chance of getting her.
That's it, isn't it?
So
Is that your chance, is it?
Yeah, probably.
she's the savage.
The savage.
She is, yeah.
So you're going to try and get her in and grab her, or you're going to grab her?
Yeah, we're going to try and tempt her in. And if she comes in,
Grab her.
excellent. If not,
Then we'll have to try and get her down out there and grab her.
Hannah is getting crates ready.
yeah, we'll start taking her.
That's absolutely great.
Just want to make sure that they're still in good enough condition for them to travel in. So everything looks fine. Still nice and secure for them to hang on to. They were cleaned, and yeah, the doors working. Whenever you take an animal anywhere, you want to check that the box is secure and they're not going to get out of it.
So these are the transport crates that the bats came in on. If you didn't see the video already, it is on our YouTube channel. But there's been modified specifically for bats. Obviously bats hang upside down. So it is a normal sky kennel, but then in the top here, if you can see, there's actually been a mesh panel fitted and one at the back there as well. And extra mesh fitted on the sides, and that's just so that bats have got extra space to hang on. So they're quite specialist. So what we're going to do this morning is we're going to be putting one bat in each crate so they can travel in style. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. We've caught the bats up a few times, so pretty comfortable with the actual process. It's just convincing them to come over to us this early. That's the biggest challenge. We can get them down to the food troughs very easily, but if we get them in the back pens, it's easier for us to grab them and we have more opportunity. Whereas if we do it in the main enclosure, the space is higher, and if they escape from us, that's it, we're not going to get them back. So that's why we're trying this first.
The captive population of these Livingstone fruit bats has been known to suffer from cardiomyopathy, which is the disease of the heart muscle where the heart walls become stretched, thickened, or stiffened. And by collecting this data, we are hoping to figure out if there's any early signs of this disease that will help us reduce and potentially prevent this disease in the captive population. Our ideal plan was to get 2 older males and 2 females. However, the females are not as friendly as the boys, so it was quite a challenge. In the end, we had to settle for 4 boys, all the boys that came from Bristol Zoo. These ones also happen to be the friendliest, so they are super easy to catch, and we were on a time crunch. Their records also showed that they had never had these tests done, so it was an ideal opportunity to get some baseline data for these animals.
I think so. 8870.
Yeah, it's been.
Straight in. There's a bit of as well, just make sure it gets the one extra.
There's always a risk of putting any animal under anaesthetic, and our vets were feeling the pressure of this task. So we'll grab both the back legs together. One hand.
You need me to feel?
I mean, he's sitting there quite easily actually.
Beautiful.
He was very easy.
Now, get his wing in properly. Yeah.
Once Lucy secured the bat out of the crate, a small mask was fitted over his face to anaesthetize him, just like a cat or dog. Then the responsiveness of the bat is tested by seeing if there's any grip left in their feet. Generally, bats can sleep hanging by their toes and they do not fall down, but the anaesthetic puts them in such a deep sleep that they actually lose this grip. So that's our first sign that they've got enough anaesthetic.
Worried that actually pressure on the diaphragm things.
While the bats are on the table, it's such a great opportunity to get a good look at their wings, their body condition, and record any measurements. Once all the measurements are done and bloods are taken, it was time to get some x-rays just to keep for our records. Once the x-rays were complete, it was time for the cardiogram, and in order to do this, we have to first shave their sternum. The first cardiogram was carried out with the bat lying down, and then we hung the bat in place for the second scan to see if there was a difference in the way the heart functioned between hanging and lying.
So that's the flow of blood through the aorta there, you see.
And when the scan was completed and the data was collected, it was time to revive the bats and put them back into their crates to recover. We wrapped the bats in towels to prevent them from flapping and causing any wing injury during recovery.
You good, Luce?
Good. Got him.
I've got towel if you can let towel slip.
Yeah.
You
Got it.
Well done. All right.
You alright, kiddo? You're alright. Each bat took around 30 minutes and the room was a toasty 28 degrees. So it was an intense couple of hours at the vets for both us and the vets, who did a really good job. And I was so relieved to have all the scans done and the bats all revived again. It's such a huge responsibility for both us and the vets to look after these super rare bats.
That was very satisfactory. Excellent little patients. We were fortunate in that we got a protocol in place from the zoos that had used them previously. We adapted it a little bit, and without being too nice to you, it was good to have you guys down here to handle them for us. But we've got all the samples we wanted. The cardiology team will have a look at the scans properly in detail. From what they were saying, they think everything looks good, which is great.
So that's it for this year's bat screening and testing. We only took 4 bats down. We didn't take the 4 bats that we wanted to, just because we couldn't catch the females. The females are quite standoffish compared to the males. So we actually took the 4 boys from Bristol Zoo that we got. So that was Acer, Elijah, Finn, and Niklaus, who all did really, really well. They hadn't really had these kind of tests before, so it was great to actually get their data on file anyways, just so we have a baseline. And with there only being 100 or so individuals in captivity, it's very important that we try and keep an eye on this and try and figure out the reason why this is happening. The population of Livingstone fruit bats in captivity only started from 15 individuals, so you're bound to have some issues within that population, but because these are literally a backup population, we'll work with what we've got. So by doing these kind of regular yearly kind of testing of a random sample of the population, we can kind of get an idea of what the health is. Overall, the body condition of all of our bats was really good. There was nothing kind of remarkable on any of the cardiograms. And it was just Acer at the very end. He was the last bat that we did that kind of scared us a little bit, because he stopped breathing underneath the anesthetic, which is the last thing that you want with such a rare animal, because it's such a huge responsibility. But he's absolutely fine now. They're all back at the zoo and they're settling into the enclosure, so it was a win. So I hope you enjoyed getting to see that behind the scenes at the vet and get to see our bats as well up close and personal. If you've got any questions about bats, then please do drop them in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't seen already our bat kind of tour and Q&A session, we have got a video on our YouTube channel already where you get to go in with our bats into the bat house and see, well, get loads of questions answered by the keepers. So if you haven't done already, please do like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we shall see you next week. Bye guys.